You're in the trucking business and things ain't going so well. Might be time to get the hell out. You're gonna have to make a decision. When's the best time? In this video, we're gonna discuss a couple things about maybe when you should get out of the business. Stay tuned, we'll be back at you. So it doesn't matter whether you've been in the business 30 years or you've been an owner-operator for 3 years or for 30 days. If things aren't going well and you're taking a continuous and steady loss, it might be time to get out. Just cut your losses and get out. But at what point do you make that decision? And for every one of us that's been an owner-operator, whether you've been doing this for a long time or a short time, at some point in our careers, we've had that thought. I've had that thought, oh my God, I can't tell you how many times I've had that thought that, my God, Brian, maybe, just walk away. As some of you know, I had that thought as early as beginning of the year this year. Maybe it was time for me to get out. Maybe it was time for me to just leave the game or maybe stay in the trucking business, but get out of the truck and do something else within the business. And for you, it's a 100% personal choice. It's an individual choice. Nobody can make that decision but you. Actually, that's a lie. Sorry. The bank can make that decision for you if you're not paying. Your wife can kind of make that decision for you, or your husband can make that decision for you. They can't make you do it, but if they're not there when you come home and that's the ultimatum, then they're kind of making the choice for you. But at the end of the day, the choice is yours, okay? This is your decision. It's a personal choice. So when do you get out? The indicators. What are the indicators? First indicator for I think in my case, or in most of us as owner-operators cases, the first indicator is going to be your truck. You're going to have to look at your truck. Is your truck past the point where it's making you money? And I don't mean that, you're breaking even and you're paying your bills and the truck's got a little bit of money in the bank. That's not trucking, and that's not making money. Making money is when you've paid yourself, you've paid all your bills, the truck is paid, you've got money in the bank, but you've got money in the bank and you got nothing to do with it. That's called profit, right? That's called profit. You're not in this business to make money. You're in this business to make a profit. If you're not making a profit and all you're doing is breaking even and you've got a couple bucks in the bank, that's an indicator. What causes this? well, first thing is obviously your biggest asset, which is your truck. Is your truck nickel and diming you? If your truck is just nickel and diming you, it's $100 there, 250 there, and it's kind of spread out. Well, you know what? In a lot of cases, that's just the price you pay for doing business in this business. No truck is going to be 100% maintenance free all year long. You're going to be putting 100 here, like I said, 200 there, whatever. That's normal. But if you're starting to take a couple $100 here, and then the next week you're at $1,500, and then you got another one here, and then if the truck is starting going from nickels and dimes to dollars, you've got to make a choice. It's time to either get rid of the truck and finance yourself or work your way into a newer truck, or you can continue on until you're supposed to be going like this as you're working, climbing up. If you're continuously going down, if you hit that peak and you're continuously going down, it's time to either get rid of the truck so you can make your climb back up or walk away. That's an indicator. Nickel and diamond, your truck nickel and diamond you and it's starting to cost you. Okay, make the choice. Get a new truck, walk away. The next one I would say would probably be your home life, your family. If you've got a miserable wife, miserable kids, miserable lifestyle at home, because this industry and this lifestyle and this business is not working for them, then you need to make a choice. You either need to make a choice of, okay, I'm going to stick with the truck and this is what I'm going to do, and my family's going to go do its own thing and whatever, or you're going to, make that choice. Myself personally, I have a family. I've got kids. I've got a wife. I have 3 cats. I got 3 dogs. I'm going home, man. If the screws were put to me, it's not working, I think I'd probably walk away and go with my family. But that's an indicator. If your home life isn't the greatest. The next indicator sort of it rolls into with what we would talk about sort of with the truck, but it's the money you're making. The Canadian industry, the dollar first of all, our dollar is terrible. I don't know what it is. I think right now $1 Canadian is worth $1 American is worth US dollar is worth $1.31, I think, Canadian. So our dollar is worth like 79 cents or 69 cents or do the math too early. But it sucks. Our dollar sucks. As Canadian drivers, we are way, way, way underpaid. And there's nothing we can do about that. As the economy is not getting any better, fuel is going up, prices of trucks are going up, cost of working, the price we're paying for doing business is going up. But nothing on our side of the fence is changing. Our pay is not going up. Our extras are not going up. Nothing. Basically, like we're not keeping up with the trucking inflation. It might be time to get the hell out. And I know a couple of guys right now that are looking at that right now to go like, okay, this is costing me, like the costs are going up like this and my pay to keep up is going up so much slower. Eventually, there's going to be such a gap between here and here that you just can't make that up. It's costing me to work. I'm not here to lose money. So if it's going to cost me to go to work, time to get out. Time to get the hell out. Now, a question was put to us. I've just said all of this because it's kind of sort of like leading into something else. We had a guy and he sent Ronan a question of when is it time to get out? Let's just say, for example, you've got a lease on a truck and you can't maintain the truck anymore. You can't get out, but you've still got, say, a year or so left on the lease. What do you do? What are your options? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not good. And this is usually an area where Ronan would answer this, but it's been thrown at me because I had to do it. So when I talked about it in a video months and months ago, because I had to do this. And it pained me to do, and I would never do it again if I absolutely didn't have to. But the simple thing was, I had a lease on a truck. I had too much time owing on that lease, too many months left. I could not buy it out. I owed more than the truck was worth. So even if I sold the truck, I'd still owe the leasing company money. What do? Well, do you go bankrupt? There's an option. Do you screw them all and run, right? Do you say to the leasing company and take a hike and let them chase you around for the next 10 years? You know, these are some pretty heavy things you got to think about. Now, my case, and if you're in this position, this is what I would suggest you do, is you go to the leasing company. They don't want the truck back. Believe me, they don't. They want money. They don't want the truck because if they take the truck back, then they have to take it. It goes to auction. They get whatever they get for it, and then they chase you for the difference. They don't want to do that. That costs them money. So if you go to them, and this is what I did, I went to the leasing company. I actually worked my way up to the president of the company. I started out with the finance people, then the operations manager, then the finance manager, and then I finally had the president of the company call me. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, this is the situation. As you know, I cannot afford to keep this truck. I have to give it back to you, but I cannot afford the penalties and the difference and all of the crap. So we've got one of two choices." I said, "I can give you the truck." And at that moment there, I'd already heard it from the previous three people. "Oh, we're gonna come after you. We're gonna take your house. We're gonna push you into bankruptcy. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that." You know what? I'm an incorporated business. Knock yourself out if that's what you really want to do and spend all that money. Or you can work with me. You know what? If you want to work with me, I'll work with you. I don't want to do this. I don't want to hurt your company. I don't want to screw you over. I really don't want to hurt myself. I don't want to hurt, because by doing so, I'm going to hurt my credit. My credit's going to take a banging. It's going to look bad. Good luck ever in the future trying to finance a truck, right? You do anything like this, you'll never finance a truck again. You know, you'll be going to visit Guido on the corner and paying 35% for your interest rate, you know, for if you're thinking you're going to finance a truck again. So you don't want to do this. So what I did is I worked my way up to the finance company. I got to the president of the company, and this guy called me. And when I laid it out that, you know, this is going to cost you more if you chase me around, screw me over, kill my credit, try to force me into bankruptcy, or I'll make a deal with you. I've still got an existing truck. It's running. I have very few payments on it, blah, blah, blah. I'll work with you. Let's make a deal. And you know what? They did. Did they get all of their money? No. Hell no. Hell no. But did they get enough of the money that they were able to write it off the books and not take a loss? Yes, they did. Were they happy? Probably not as happy as they would have been if I ran the lease to the end of the term. Was I happy? Not really, but I was able to walk out with my ass intact. I didn't lose everything around me. Not that I really would have anyway, but I didn't have to go through the headache, the hassle, and have to keep looking over my shoulder and answer every time the phone rings, you never know who it is. My credit didn't take a bad beating. So that was an option that I did. So if you're ever in that position, don't make your first option, well, screw it, give them back the truck and F them. Call them. Work your way. If you don't get the answer you want, go to the next guy up. If you still don't get the answer you want, keep going till you get to the top. I pissed off enough people that the president of CLE called me and made the deal with me. Okay, I was making the deal with the president, and I'm sitting there going like, I'm just, a small schmuck that owns a truck, and I'm talking to the president of CLE to make a deal because they don't want to take the loss and I don't want to take the beating. They're willing to do that for you. So that would be an option for you. Now, if you don't have that option and it's not working out, you got to get out and you're going to hand in the truck and you're going to run away. Well, just know, okay, they are going to make your life hell. They're going to hurt your credit. They're going to chase you around. They're going to call you. It's going to go to collections. The big leasing companies have their own collections department. They don't send it off to ABC Collections. They've got their own collections department, and these people are ruthless. They are going to chase you. They're going to dog you. They're going to do everything in their power to get their money out of you. And then because you've screwed them and now you've pissed them off, not only are they going to go after the money that you owe them, they're going to go after the money that it's costing them to chase you. So remember that if you're thinking of, forget it, hand it in, walk away. Now, on the last option, I guess you've got is when it's time to get the hell out, go bankrupt. That's a tough pill to swallow. It really, really is. I don't know of anybody in this business that wants to go bankrupt or uses that as a fallback plan. If you're in this business and your plan 2 or plan B is, it doesn't work out, I'll go bankrupt. If that's your plan, don't get into the business to start with. Okay, go sell hot dogs on a corner with a Shopsy's cart. Stay out of trucking because bankruptcy is just not the second choice. It's not a fallback plan. So don't do that. So now I just quickly want to touch on 2 separate aspects of business. Let's say you're incorporated and let's say you're not incorporated. So Ronan over here is not incorporated. Brian over here is incorporated. Both of us are at the same crossroads in our career with our trucking career. We've got to walk away and we've got to get out. And the only option, unfortunately, is to go bankrupt or to screw the finance company. What's going to happen to you? Well, Ronan over here not being incorporated, they're going to go after all of his personal assets. Now, let's not pretend like it's, Ronan's got tax shelters and all that kind of shit. Let's just say that, Ronan's just a normal guy and he's got a house, he's got a mortgage, he's got a car payment, he's got, a couple, whatever, in RSPs. They are going to go after all of that. It is unprotected. It's open, it's fair game, and they're going to go after it. So your personal assets as an unincorporated person are on the table and they're gonna go after it. Don't kid yourself for a minute. And they can get access to it. They've got ways of getting access to all of that stuff and they're gonna get it. Now the other guy over here is an incorporated business. What does that mean? At the end of the day, if I have to go bankrupt and I gotta get away and I gotta hand the truck in, and of course they're gonna throw their arms up and go, we're gonna take your house, they're gonna take your car, we're gonna take your RSPs, we're gonna take your dog. No, you're not. You can sue my company, but you can't touch any of my personal assets. One of the reasons we incorporate ourselves is for personal protection, right? My personal assets are not on the table with my business. My business is on the table. You will do business with my business. You're not doing business with my personal assets. That's why I'm incorporated, and that's why we incorporate. One of the reasons we do. We also do it for other reasons. For example, we get better tax breaks. We can shuck and jive money around legally that we can't do when you're unincorporated. But when it comes to making that call and you're going to be unincorporated and you're going to be handing the truck in and you're going to be in a bad position, if you're an incorporated business, you are at least better protected than you are if you're unincorporated. So just remember that. Unincorporated, your personal assets are on the table and everything is fair game and they will go after it. Unincorporated, well, they can go after everything and anything that's to do with that business, but they cannot touch my personal assets. It is off the table. They know that, but they're going to threaten you anyway and go, well, we're going to come and knock yourselves out. Swing for the fence. You're not getting any of it. You can take the truck Anything that my company owns is fair game. It would almost be like the personal assets of the company. Go for it. But you cannot touch my personal assets. That's the way it's set up for me, and that's the way I think it should be set up for any truck driver, especially this day and age, because you don't know how long you're going to last. Incorporate yourself and get yourself protected. That's just a quick, easy one. So the last option, well, not the last option, there's probably about 30 options that I haven't given you. I'm just giving you probably the most common ones, is if you can get out of being a lease and you still want to drive, just downgrade yourself. I call it a downgrade, like you're stepping down a level, but it's not a status thing. Become a company driver, grab a company ride. If I was, for any reason, had to get out of being an owner-operator and working as an owner-operator with Ronan and the gang here, would I take a company ride here? Sure, not a problem. I'd make a decent living. I wouldn't make the living I'm making as an owner-operator, but would I make a decent living? Yeah, I'd do okay. So that would be another option. If you can get out and you won't, but you still want to drive, go and become a company driver. I think personally, and this was something that I struggled with, it was not necessarily the truck or the money that was driving me out of the business. It was my own personal feeling about how I was feeling about the business, how I was seeing the business change in front of me. And I didn't necessarily, and I still don't necessarily like where it's going. And for me, that was something that I had to look at when making my considerations of, do I want to buy another truck? Because if I buy another truck, I know I'm committed for at least 3 years. Hands down, I'm committed for 3 years. Do I want to make a 3-year commitment, stay in this game for 3 more years, run down the road? It's going to be with ET. I'm not going anywhere. So do I want to sit here at ET for 3 more years and make that commitment and do it with all the changes that are going on around me that I'm not crazy about? But I made the decision, yeah, I will do it. So I'm committed for 3 more years. I have bought a truck, and that's kind of, but you have to make that choice. Okay. Do you have the drive? Do you still have that fire? Do you still have all of that? If you don't have all of that, get out, sell your truck, walk away, time to go. You need that to make money in this business, because you can't just wake up in the morning and go, let's go to work. It doesn't work like that in trucking. If that's what you're doing, you're not doing yourself any favors, because within a couple of months, you're going to hate your job. You're going to hate the highway. You're going to hate the people you're working with. You're going to hate your wife. You're going to hate your dog. And most importantly, you're going to hate yourself being there. And that's a terrible feeling, because I was teetering at certain points in my career at that. I don't have that right now, but I've been there. So if you're at that point, run, get out. I can't say whether this is going to help you or not. This is almost like therapy for me. This is great. So I hope you all, actually, I want to thank you all for listening to my therapy session. This was awesome. Now, if my therapy session here helped you in any way, great. If there's any of the therapy that I've just put myself through, if it benefits anything that you're doing or anything that you're going through, awesome. Thank you. But make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment. We're pretty good these days about returning comments and talking back to you and anything. We get a lot of our information through you, so keep them coming. We'll see you down the road.